Heroes Reborn, Episode 10, 11:53 to Odessa. Now, this was actually the fall finale for the series, so we aren't getting any more Heroes Reborn until January, and we only have 3 more episodes to go, which I'm really looking forward to. And this episode I actually thought was pretty cool. I like the fact that we got to see quite a bit of the future. We also got a lot of craziness with Otomo in this episode, because I was wondering what happened to him. And admittedly, I'm assuming that he just went to Erica in the past, because we saw, through the flashbacks, he's the one that put Hero in the game. And then after that, we kind of got nothing from his character. Like, he did that, and then, he made Miko. And then after that, he was basically taken away at random, and that was pretty much it. So we find out that what happened is he actually left and was taken to the headquarters, the Renatus headquarters, and they sent him into the future to make the facility. But before that, or maybe after that, I don't really know, but he had these constructs there, I guess. He made these constructs to help Ren find Miko in the future. So I don't know how that worked out, because the construct version was like, oh, he made us, to help you. And he does say that I sent him to you. So I guess he knew that. He was like, okay, this kid's on the rise. This will be the kid that figures out the secret, and he'll be the one to help her save Hero. So I guess that was his plan the entire time, but he knew that if he didn't go along with it, then he would have just flat out been killed. So he knew he could put in a contingency plan, say, alright, things are going according to plan for now, and then outside of that, I know what's happening in the background, and then I know that, Ren will solve this puzzle, he'll find her, then they'll work together, they'll get Hero out, everybody's safe. So I'm assuming that was his plan. We'll have to technically kind of find out, but I like getting to see a lot of him, because that was actually kind of cool. Miko sees the actual Miko, and we find out, that was basically like the whole thing, which I guess technically we get an answer to. Otomo says, like, this is my actual daughter, and they said that they'd help her as long as I help them. So, that was totally his contingency plan. I forgot about that until I finished my whole little speculation, I guess, and then it's like, oh yeah, they totally said exactly why he did it. But either way, that's what happened. And then, we had the stuff with Ren. I guess no one else could see them, because when he was in the coffee shop, he's like, did anyone see that Shogun? And everyone's just like, and then they all go back to doing whatever. So I guess some of the constructs can only be seen by who Otomo wants them to be seen by. Maybe. I mean, he can put people in video games, I guess. I don't know with his powers. And I guess you can say anything or whatever. But that was kind of interesting that he did that. And then Ren's kind of just left alone after he kind of gets the message. They all just vanish into nothingness. So that was pretty interesting. And I guess that kind of means they were never there to begin with. It was just some, open place, maybe. But it was pretty cool. It was a weird little scene, but it was actually pretty cool. It was like this weird sort of secret dojo thing happening with just people practicing kendo for whatever reason. And then he gets his message, everyone's gone, and it's just like nothingness anymore. So it was sort of weird, but it was also kind of cool to me. Miko being in the future, she's now taken back to the present, because she goes through, does her little spy thing. Tommy is, he's taken into the future. They tell him where to go, and I mentioned that basically exactly what happened. Everywhere that the people were sent when they were using Hero's power, that's exactly where they go with Tommy, because that's where she was sent. She was sent to the same place that all the scientists were. So I was right about that speculation. That's where Miko ends up. So when she finds Tommy, who gets the whole tour and decides that he's actually going to help everyone, he decides, like, I'll help you, but the people I care about basically need to be safe. After all that's said and done, even after he sends back Quentin and his sister, and Erica's like, I trust you, I don't think you'll take off. As soon as Miko came in, I was like, I'm here to rescue you. He was like, basically his head was just like, okay, I'm out of here. Like, he had his chance to escape. He knew someone was there to help him, and pretty much that was all there was to it. Like, he still didn't technically trust Erica 100%, and then he was just gone. Like, that was it. Like, they took off. The preview kind of instantly counters that, though, because they do show it where he's like, alright, and he's, it's like he was sending someone in the future or something like that. So he went back to her even after they, vanished. But they go back in time, so they're in the present now, I have to assume. I can't even think of it. Noah, he ends up being taken after like this crazy storm is coming down, and Melina stops it. And I swear, this whole time, I thought her name was Melinda, and I was thinking it was close to Melina because every time I hear Melina, I think Mortal Kombat, like most people would, or maybe not most people, but most nerdy people would. And then in this episode, they were saying her name, and I'm like, how did I think her name was Melinda when it was actually Melina? I don't know how I mixed that up, or maybe I just heard it wrong. I guess someone said that. Or maybe I even read it wrong. Maybe someone read it, or I didn't read it wrong. Maybe someone put that her name was Melinda instead of Melina. I think I read that on one of the episodes, and so I was like, okay, this is her name, because that was before I officially remembered. But it's Melina now, so 3 episodes left, and now I finally know her actual name. And now I remember that. But he gets taken somewhere. I don't think it was Tommy. Because they could have easily just been like, okay, hey, I came to save you. Boom. Grab Noah. Get the heck out of there. But instead, they show a hand land on Noah's shoulder and they vanish. So I'm assuming that what happened is Hero may have gotten his powers back. Maybe with Tommy having disappeared and gone to a different time period, that allowed Hero to get his abilities back. Maybe it's like technically they aren't on the same plane anymore. So, poof, he has his powers now because Tommy left and went to the future. And so he's not on, you know how they did it just in a weird way. It's almost like he's no longer on the planet to take your powers. So now your powers come back. And I feel like that's what happened. Or it would have to be someone totally random. But, they just show a random hand. Poof, they vanish without a trace. They don't save Melina, but she's also saving a bunch of idiots because she totally stops this storm. But I won't even bother with that because it's sad that we all know that would be real life because people are like that now with other humans. And it's like, she stopped the storm, and it's like, this is your fault. And he had a shotgun. I'm just like, why? They should probably just kill some people sometimes. But she's totally fine. Luke comes in and he stops the morons and stuff, and so they take off. And who knows where they're really headed at this point, but it's the two of them again. So Noah's somewhere in time and space. Who knows? Miko and Tommy are somewhere. I'm assuming they came back to the present, and I'm pretty sure whoever grabbed Noah didn't take him to a different time period. So they're all in the present, just in some places, who knows where. We still have Luke's wife, whose name I totally forgot from the last episode. I just can't ever remember her name. The guy who has clones, can't remember his name either. Never do. But she's with them now. She's with Renata, so we're going to see her come back, but she didn't have a part in this episode. Something that was pretty cool, the guy who has the clones, though, they show his fingers in one scene where he chopped his fingers off a bunch of times. I thought that was actually pretty cool, and it was also interesting because they showed, like, his middle finger, or not his middle finger, his ring finger had, like, 1 cut on it. His middle finger had 2, but for some reason his index finger had 3. So it was weird that it kind of went up evenly. I thought that was pretty interesting, and maybe it was just to make it look cool, I guess. I don't really know, just to make it look kind of symmetrical like stairs, I guess. But I thought that was kind of interesting, and it just showed that there are actually marks, on his body when he does that. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but he had his moments in this episode, especially when there were like hundreds of him when they were at the compound, which was also a really cool part of this episode because we have a lot of different stuff coming together. We actually do find out that the woman that's been protecting Melina this whole time, she didn't die. So it actually made sense that they got that information from, I can only call him Gutierrez because I can't remember his first name. So it was cool, they got the information from him. It actually mattered because they find her. We get the full glimpse of the flashback and everything, and then we see her go invisible, which actually looked very cool to me. I thought that was actually a nice way. I like the CG and that, just how they did it was pretty sweet. So that was pretty fun. Basically everyone just escapes except for Micah. They don't find him exactly in this episode, but they pretty much do everything they need to do. Like, they knock out Matt. That was totally fine, even though they were about to get busted. They knock him out after everything's said and done. So he's unconscious in his room still. They beat up a bunch of people. Taylor runs into Gutierrez and the other woman. I really got to get these names. I just can't remember them. But, they run into each other, so now everyone's kind of working together. Renee actually spoke like crazy in this episode, which I didn't really think about it from the first episode when Noah had to kill him. Still don't know how he's alive, unless that's someone else, unless he had a twin this whole time, which I don't think he did. But it was weird hearing him talk so much, because it was just like, when he spoke a little bit before, because they did that in the original series where he did speak a little bit every once in a while, but it was just like, holy crap, he's just full sentences in this, and it was really weird to actually like recognize that, because I hadn't thought about it before. But like they did in the last episode too, but in this one it for some reason clicked in my head, like, he's speaking in full sentences. This isn't like one sentence and then everyone else speaks like 3 paragraphs worth of content. He's talking a lot, and it was really weird when that finally registered in my brain, like, holy crap, this is really happening. It was kind of funny, but it was a good episode. We got Evil Matt using like his powers and everything, and I remember I read a review, because I wasn't sure after that other episode if he had that power at the end of the original series, and the person whose review I read for the last episode, or yeah, I think it was the last one, said the same thing. Like, they don't believe he had that power, but he was, he is very different. And they mentioned something in that review where initially he hated his father for doing evil, things with his abilities, and that's where he is right now. So when I read that, I was like, oh, that does make it even cooler. It's not just the power, but it's the fact that he's a lot like his own dad. And also, they show some names. They do kind of reference, I guess they're married at this point, but the woman from the previous series who had super speed, and I believe it was a girl. I didn't like try to read the names because they did it super quick, and I was just like, alright, there are 3 names there, I know who they reference, so I didn't really care to read them. But if I remember right, there was like a little girl that they saved, so that was kind of cool, because he was freaked out about being left behind and everything. After he read the one dude's mind, where it's like, oh, I didn't know that was you. Actually, yeah, so I guess he's not unconscious. I would have my scenes out of order. After he got knocked out, he did wake up when the guy was next to him. But unfortunately, that guy got killed. The guy can change shape. And so, Matt was a little freaked out that he didn't mean anything. But, he's on the list, which could be fake or whatever. Micah could have even, done that on purpose. Maybe. I don't really know. But, he's still in there. They're gonna break him out soon, I guess, because they didn't do it in this episode, so I'm assuming they'll get him on the next one. Everyone kind of just, it was a weird ending how they did it, because it was like, oh, there are all these clones coming at him, and they're like, run, and they split. It was weird that they split up too, because it was like, alright, so we have Taylor Gutierrez and the woman who is protecting Melina, and then we have Renee and the other 2 people, and then they all meet up, and it's like, run, and they split back up into those 2 groups again. I thought that was kind of weird, and they should all be dead anyway, because there are like a billion clones out there just about to shoot at them, which I don't think they shot at all, but they totally should have. But it's also TV, so people do stupid stuff. But, it was like this giant pan, kind of swoop over the whole manor, and it's like they're running, and then it just cuts off, and it's like, to be continued. It was cool that they actually gave us glimpses, which for mid-season finales, you do get a glimpse of what's going to be coming back. But we only have 3 episodes left. I think this was a pretty good one. I really liked seeing the future. That was probably my favorite part of the episode, and Tommy actually deciding that he would actually work, for Erica. That was probably my favorite part, is seeing the future and watching him get convinced that what he was doing, or what she was doing, is what he should be doing, and he agrees. And based on the previews for what's coming up, he does decide to still help her, and we'll see what happens. I mean, they keep talking about, it can't be stopped and this and that. So who knows? There are only 3 episodes left, so they really have to kind of ramp it up. And I do believe this is only like it's only these 13 episodes. They aren't trying to redo the whole series or anything. But I've enjoyed the run so far. I'm looking forward to these last 3. I do think this is a good one, but of course, I want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And my question for you guys is, who is it that saved Noah? Who stopped him, or who teleported him out of the way when that car was coming down on him? Was it someone new? Was it Hero? Did he get his powers back? I want to know your speculations. I personally think it is the whole thing where since Tommy kind of jumped outside of their current timeline and he technically wasn't on the same Earth anymore, it allowed Hero to get his powers back. Like he was so far away that it gave Hero his abilities back, and that's why they kind of. I mean, obviously, if it's Tommy, it would have to literally be a future version of Tommy. Like that's the only thing, or it would have to be someone brand new that we haven't seen before. But I'm going with Hero. I didn't really examine it or anything, but they played it up. They only showed the hand. There's all I noticed is what he was wearing a little bit, and it was kind of like a black jacket, and that's the only thing we've really seen Hero in is like a black suit jacket or just black clothes in general. So I'm kind of going with his Hero, but I do want to know your speculation. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.